Hey guys, so I'm going to show you some more CDs. It's been a while since I've made one of these, so let's get into it. So start off with, we got Mewithoutyou-Muse, It's All Crazy, It's All False, It's All a Dream, It's Alright. I think this is pretty universally agreed on being their worst album. Honestly, I don't think it's that bad, and I kind of appreciate that it exists. It's more folkier, it's their most fleshed out album. So yeah, we'll get into the packaging. Let's look at the back of it. I mean, as usual, their albums tend to have some pretty neat art going on. Nothing behind the disc, really, but yeah, you know, it's a little bit more traditional song structures. Aaron does some more closest thing that he does to actual singing than his usual talking and shouting. And I appreciate the passion, but he's not really that great of a singer, let's just face it. Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it. It's not a bad album. Alright, next up, actually no, I got my collection flipped over the wrong way, so let's try this again. So next up we got the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, Let's Face It. This is the only album that I have from them. I've never really understood why they tend to get a lot of hate, but I really enjoyed this album. I think it's pretty kick-ass. I mean, obviously everybody knows the impression that I get. I mean, I still love that song. I've also always loved the song Royal Oil. The closing song, 1, 2, Wait's pretty killer too. So, nothing behind the disc again. That page was a little bit thick, so it kind of caught me off guard. I didn't know if I had 2 pages or not. Next up, got Misfits, Walk Among Us, classic punk album. Not much to the packaging though, but it's a pretty killer album. And this is probably my personal favorite Misfits album. I know it's not everybody's favorite album. Most people tend to prefer the Danzig area, and probably on the whole, I agree. I prefer Danzig era, but we got American Psycho. A little bit of a heavier album, a little bit more on the metal side, and it kicks ass. See if I can get it out. I like how it has that little call-out poster inside. So you know you're gonna get a fairly big insert, but I'll show you the normal. So I do kind of like that extended cover there, but there's the full picture for the poster. I mean, you know, it's not a huge, you know, what I think of as like a poster. Like, you know, when you say poster, I think something like that right there. You know, nice little small thing. I mean, I wouldn't put it on my wall or anything, because then, you know, you'd have to look at that for the CD, and, you know, I like to appreciate that physical packaging, you know. Make sure I get this in right. Alright, so, this is one of 2 albums that I have from Modest Mouse, and this is the only one that I have on CD, but their classic album, Good News for People Who Love Bad News. I think this one's kind of supposed to be a little bit more poppier and radio friendly than mainly a lot of the earlier stuff. I think after I can't even remember the name of the album. The one that had Johnny Marr on it. I think a lot of people after that album, not during that, but the couple albums or so that they released after that, I think most people don't really consider to be that great. But yeah, this is a pretty solid album. Some of my personal favorite songs, I mean, obviously, The World at Large and Float On are really popular. Bury Me With It's great. I've always really liked Black Cadillacs. Funny thing that I only recently realized is that the closing track, Good Times Are Killing Me, features Flaming Lips, one of my favorite bands. But yeah, I get back into that packaging for this. Finally, an album that actually has, well, I guess American Psycho had something neat behind the disc, but yeah, a lot of blank backsides, whatever you call that part of the packaging in this particular batch of albums that I'm releasing. It's kind of cool they got going on with the packaging here. I'm not, okay, I guess it's supposed to go this way then. The main hint is the curtains there going down. That's some kind of neat stuff they got going there, so. Alright, next up we got some Muse. These are all albums I got fairly recently. I mean, I listened to Muse a little bit, mainly during college. And somehow they kind of fell off the radar. I never actually picked up any of their albums. It wasn't until like this year, maybe late last year, that I really started picking up their albums physically. But yeah, Origin of Symmetry, probably at least of the albums I'm showing you, my favorite album of theirs. Let me take a look at that track list again to give you some shout outs. Newborn, Bliss, Plug-in Baby, Citizen Erased. A lot of killer tracks on here. Next is the reason why I had to hold off on making this video, because, I mean, if you haven't noticed, I kind of do these in alphabetical order. If I have something that I've ordered and I'm waiting on and it takes really long to get here, and yeah, it's supposed to be in the next video that I shoot, then it's going to hold off for a bit. But yeah, we got Hysteria. Like I said, I just got this. I've only really listened to it once, so it hasn't made that huge of an impression on me yet. But I think this is the fan favorite. I mean, it has the song. Sorry, this isn't called Hysteria. That's the main popular song that's on here. This is called Absolution. But yeah, it has this weird little mail-in here. You can get other albums or sign up for a mailing list or something cheesy like that. Yeah. If you keep up with my videos, I mean, I've said this before, I record these well in advance, months in advance to be exact, because I only post them once a week. And ideally, I record them once a day. But, yeah, if you saw my opening video for this, all I got was like the packaging for it and the disc. I didn't actually get a jewel case. But I dug up a CD I didn't particularly care for, and didn't really see it even having any trade-in value. And yeah, I took it apart, and now it has a jewel case, so that is nice. And one more album that I'll show to close off my Muse collection. We got The Resistance, with songs like Uprising and The Resistance. And it is with like this big kind of Queen-esque, piano-heavy kind of orchestral symphonic rock Exogenesis Symphony series thing. It's a bit cheesy at times, I must admit. But there's the disc. And here's the booklet. And yeah, I haven't really heard anything from Muse that's impressed me past this album. There's even a handful of things that I've heard from them I thought was straight up god-awful, like, what was that? I think it was called Unsustainable, that dubstep song they did. That was pretty weird. And yeah, I'll get back to you later with some more of my CD collection.